Raphael, come sit by me.
The archetypal father shows up in many films, whether it's as a great legacy to be passed down, a protector and a teacher, or an obstacle to overcome. A lot of films cover the themes of fatherhood, but there's one movie that stands out to me and has largely gone unnoticed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 1990 film directed by Steve Barron, with the screenplay being written by Bobby Herbeck and then rewritten by Todd Langen. And while Langen was a regular writer for the Wonder Years, Herbeck didn't do much more notable writing than this. Also, Steve Barron directed Coneheads. The story goes like this: 4 baby turtles named after Renaissance painters, along with a trained shinobi rat named Splinter, are mutated and transform into large Jim Henson-style rubber suit monsters. They meet April O'Neil, learn of the Shredder and the Foot Clan. They befriend Casey Jones. Splinter is kidnapped. The gang can't get along. They take a long weekend in the country to chill the fuck out, then confront the Shredder. And Splinter totally steals their win. Also, Casey straight up murders this fool.
Oops!
I mean, I guess you could argue that the fall kills him, but I don't know. Desecration of a corpse, I guess? Either way, this is a little fucked up.
Without honor.
Now, with all this in mind, and given the people involved in its inception, it might be hard to see how this movie could touch anything as deep as the bond between fathers and sons. But hear me out. The driving force behind the story is fatherhood.
All fathers care for their sons.
And the fatherhood story isn't limited to just Splinter and the Turtles. The Shredder and the Foot Clan tell one story. O'Neil's boss and his son tell another. Even April O'Neil, whose father is dead at the time of the story, gives us a glimpse of her own relationship with her dad.
I only keep it open part-time, mostly for my dad. You love junk. I don't know, I guess it's kind of dumb to lose money on a business just because you miss your father.
No, it isn't.
Let's start with the most obvious father figure in the film, Splinter. In him we get a portrayal of something that we don't often see in the father archetype: understanding.
Whoops! Kids.
Splinter shows compassion and patience to his sons throughout the film. He even adopts a fatherhood role when speaking to Danny, a young member of the Foot Clan.
So, you can talk.
Yes, and I can also listen. Some say that the path from inner turmoil begins with a friendly ear. My ear is open if you care to use it.
He disciplines when necessary, but he truly understands his children. And I think his understanding is best exemplified in that first scene I showed at the beginning of this video.
Couldn't this wait till morning?
You will listen now. I have tried to channel your anger, Raphael, but more remains. Anger clouds the mind. Turned inward, it is an unconquerable enemy. You are unique among your brothers, for you choose to face this enemy alone. But as you face it, do not forget them, and do not forget me. I am here, my son.
This is an interesting conversation. And to understand it, we have to understand something about the son he's talking to, Raphael. While it can be argued that the other turtles embody cartoonish stereotypes, not that that's a bad thing, among all of them, Raphael is the most relatable to the viewer. He's passionate, emotional, frustrated, and tries to carry the burdens of the group on his own shoulders. He's very much a loner, which makes him a very convincing teenage character. Splinter understands Raphael. When talking to him about his anger, he doesn't chastise him. He doesn't scold him for being who he is. He simply reminds Raphael that he's not alone. He accepts that Raphael is going to do things his own way. Juxtaposing the relationship between Splinter and Raphael is the relationship between Charles and Danny. Charles is April's boss. We get glimpses of their relationship throughout the beginning of the film. And while I wouldn't argue that Charles is a bad father, he does have difficulty connecting with his son.
See? That's what he does when he wants to ignore me. Sticks his head in those things. I wonder where the hell he got those things anyway.
The character of Danny is very relatable to anyone who's ever been a teenage boy. Young men, in general, on the cusp of adulthood, seek respect from their peers and from their elders. And it's easy for a teenager to feel misunderstood.
My dad could care less about me.
We see this longing for respect manifest itself when Danny and Charles reconcile at the end of the film.
I've had the whole city looking for you. Are you all right? Are you okay, Danny?
It's okay, Dad. I'm okay. Really. I'm okay. Dad, it's just Dan now, okay?
Dan.
The problem Charles has is his overbearing concern for his kid, where Splinter offers his availability to Raphael. Charles forces his availability on Danny and criticizes him for not taking it.
I don't get it, Danny. I make more than enough money to provide for both of us, and you're stealing.
And then we have the Shredder, the pseudo-father, a man who manipulates young boys as a means to an end.
You are here because the outside world rejects you. This is your family. I am your father.
This trope is not uncommon. We see it in movies like 1998's American History X.
If you come near Danny again, I will feed you your fucking heart, Cameron.
I won't have to. He'll come to me. I'm more important to him now than you'll ever be.
And we see it in real life. The 80s and 90s in the United States were plagued by gang violence. With the number of fatherless homes increasing in America, the amount of boys joining gangs in order to find meaning and purpose increased as well. The Shredder uses the disaffected youth of New York City in order to build his empire. And he provides them with rites of passage, something which has very much been lost in our culture, and which young men often seek.
Money cannot buy the honor which you have earned tonight. You make us all proud.
Children who lack a stable familial structure will substitute it in any way they can.
Well, it starts in the home. You know, if the father's not in the home, the boy will find the father in the streets.
We're a family.
But, like Splinter says,
The Shredder uses you. He poisons your minds to obtain that which he desires. He cares nothing for you or the people you hurt.
sorry, Sam Rockwell. Now, I'm not big on social commentary in films, but this movie doesn't beat you over the head with it. In fact, I never noticed it until I rewatched the film as an adult. When compared to other kids' movies of the time, it's incredible to me how sophisticated this film is when touching on the necessity of family.
Hey, Mikey, did you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? I mean, about what it would be like. You know, not having him.
This has been, for most of my life, one of my favorite movies. And it makes me sad that it doesn't seem to get the appreciation I think it deserves. I'm looking at you, Rotten Tomatoes. The performances are pretty good. I don't think I've seen an expression of grief more powerful than when the turtles return home to find that their father has been abducted. The emotion coming out of this puppet is somewhat frightening. At the time this film was released, only 2 other Turtles properties were in existence, and it does a great job of blending both the quips of the cartoon series
Mr. Gas thinks these guys aren't lumberjacks. No joke! The only thing safe in the woods would be the trees.
with the seriousness of the comic book. When pitching this film, the major studios of the time all rejected it. It was New Line Cinema that decided to take up the project. And it would have been very easy for them to make a generic action film for kids. But they took a different route and made something much more meaningful. There have been many iterations of the Turtles since then, but I don't think any of them have come close to touching the depth that this film attained.
I am proud of you, my sons. Together, there is nothing your 4 minds cannot accomplish. Help each other, draw upon one another, and always remember that which I gladly return with my final words. I love you all, my sons.
There's something truly beautiful about this film, and I highly recommend paying it another visit and a closer look. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is the first major video that I've done on this channel, and I want to do more like this. If you enjoyed it, hit subscribe, hit like, share with your friends, or don't, whatever. But thanks for watching all the same.